to the class.
Okay.
Friends, we are fortunate enough to have Dr. Dennis with us today. Dr. Dennis is Associate Professor at Kyiv National Economic University, Ukraine. He's an expert of cross-cultural communication and management. He has participated in numerous international projects like Globe 2020 and Future of the Europes also. He has also written many research papers. Particularly, he's expert in cross-cultural communication. So he's the best person to deliver a talk on cross-cultural communication in modern business environment. Thank you very much, Dr. Dennis, to spare time to deliver this session. Over to you, Dr. Dennis.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Akmendra, and thank you guys, thank you friends for hosting me here in your beautiful country. So it's a great pleasure and great honor for me to be here, honestly. And since I'm really interested in different cross-cultural communication and different cultures and different communication styles, it's extremely pleasant for me to have this experience and hopefully to communicate with you. And so I also try to inspire you, to motivate you to turn on your microphones, to turn on your cameras and participate in discussion, because since it's about communication, it's impossible to have an entire lecture just with my head talking to you. So I prefer to have a live discussion. Good evening, good evening. Yes, definitely it's 3.5 hours difference in time zones. So I understand it's almost evening in India, but still I believe you had your lunch, you are full of energy and you are ready to communicate. Okay, if everyone is ready, I would like to share my screen and make a presentation, but while I'm doing it, I definitely would like to listen to your opinion about different topics and subjects that I would like to discuss with you. So please let me know if you see my screen and if you hear me well.
Yes, it is visible, Dr. Dennis. Your screen is
perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. So today I want to tell you about cross-cultural communication, especially in modern business environments. So that's why I think it's important for you, because you are business school students, so you definitely would like to work on a global level. I'm sure, like your professor just said, many of you will work in multicultural business environments. So you're gonna meet partners, clients, investors, maybe managers or your employees from different cultures with different cultural backgrounds. And we actually need to be prepared for these challenges, to know how to deal with these people with different cultural backgrounds. First of all, I would like to ask you, maybe some of you would like to tell me how it happened that today, nowadays, cross-cultural communication is a discipline that is studied all over the world. Why cross-cultural communication are especially popular and especially important nowadays? What major trends made it so? What do you think? Any suggestions? Why we meet so many people right now, much more than 50 years ago, 30 years ago, even 20 years ago? Why it's so important now? You can also use chat if you'd like, if you prefer to write your opinions, please do. Okay, so you probably know that the first trend, mega trend, is globalization. You definitely know that this mega trend has changed significantly all processes all over the world. Even now, we are meeting people from different parts of our planet in every country, in almost every city. I believe in India or in Ukraine or in Paris or in London, you meet people from all over the world, and globalization gives us opportunities to work, to cooperate with companies located in different countries. So we might buy some resources in the countries, for example, in China or India or Bangladesh. We can deliver them via Ukraine or Greece or Poland to Germany or France or to the United States and so on. So we combine partners, resources, supply chains, and so on. So that's why globalization helped to boost the interest to cross-cultural communication and interaction. Another mega trend that is probably even more important nowadays is digitalization. We all live in a digitally globalized world. We realize that even now, right now, we're talking over Zoom, you are in India, it's evening in India, it's daytime in Ukraine, it's probably night somewhere in other part of the planet, but we still can communicate, we can exchange information, we can buy or sell something using a lot of digital platforms, tools, and so on and so on. So that's why, I don't know, that's a print screen of my phone, so you you understand, we live every day by day, we use all these applications and so on. And another mega trend I want to mention right now is growing impact on new generations, people like you. Guys, you are all Generation Z or millennials, and you are young people who are moving our planet forward, and you are ready because you live with all this stuff like Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and so on and so on. And that's why you are so flexible. You are ready to change your location, your working place. You are ready to move abroad. I'm sure you are ready to move abroad for a couple of years for some project, to come back to your country and so on and so on. So you are open, you are flexible, you are digitally savvy. So that's why you are ready to communicate with people from all over the world. And the last trend I want to mention before we get to the point is the phenomenon of sharing economy. It's a very interesting phenomenon. You might probably know that a lot of businesses nowadays, they actually can work without owning many assets. So like Airbnb or Uber taxis and so on. So you don't need to have a lot of capital, a lot of money to operate business. You need to connect people. And while you are connecting people, you actually meet a lot of people from abroad, from different countries, and you meet them as clients, as partners, as investors. That's why you must know how to communicate with them, how to have negotiations with them, and so on. So these are the factors that make cross-cultural communication important. And now let's see, if we need to know how to communicate across cultures, across borders, what obstacles, what problems we might have when we meet people from different cultures. Oh, I see the chat, I just open it. Okay, diverse workforce, exactly, because the workforce is from different countries, and that's why we need to know how to deal with them. Establishment of international business, perfect, very, very good, because international joint companies, joint projects, they are involved a lot of people from, they involve a lot of people from different culture. Yes, thank you very much, dear colleague, that you motivated your students to communicate. Tanisha just texted that cross-cultural communication is a field of study that looks at how people from different cultural backgrounds communicate in similar and different ways among themselves. Exactly, Tanisha, that's correct. That's what I would like to discuss with you today. So that's very good idea. Thank you very much. So as I said, and as my dear colleague said, please feel free to unmute yourself and tell what do you think. Tanisha, can you tell us, please? May I ask you to intervene in our discussion? Okay, what is the main problem when we meet people from other country? In if we talk about communication, what is the main problem?
Friends, you check. I think a permission has been given to you. You can unmute yourself. Fine, you raise your hand.
You can. Anyone can unmute. Yeah. Raised hand. Lavanya, just correct me. Sorry if I misspell your name. Sorry. Please, guys, tell. Who raised your hand? Please.
Lavanya, you can unmute yourself.
Lavanya, yeah, Lavanya, please. Can you share your opinion?
Lavanya, can't you unmute yourself? Srishti, you just checked.
No. You also can't some technical issues or.
Just let me check. Just let me.
Yeah,
check.
maybe some permission. Because I see that in chat.
Oh yes, yeah, I'm able to unmute now.
Okay.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
It's a pleasure to meet you. So I would like to say that the first barrier would be the language, as usual, because from every single state and every single country has a different language for themselves, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you very much. Language barriers are most widespread, and they are very, very widespread all over the world. If we even know that English language is international language #1, we have to admit it. But still, somehow many people don't know English, cannot speak English, or they have some problems with English, for example, accent or not high level of proficiency in English and so on. That's why in cross-cultural communication, such problems can occur. Thank you. It's a very good idea. Can you tell me what should we do if, for example, tomorrow you meet at international level, you meet your partner from other country, let's say from Germany, and you are talking about some business contract and you realize that you understand, let's say 80% of what your partner says. What would you do? You understand him, but 80%, you miss only 20%. What would you do? You can use chat. If you want, you can use chat. Will you ask him or her to repeat or to tell in other words and so on and so on? What would you do? If you raise your hand, you just unmute yourself and tell, please. Lavanya, you want, okay. Communicate again. Yeah, communicate again. For example, there is an option. So to ask again, to explain. That's a very widespread problem when a person who realized that he or she understands. No, Lavanya, you are not audible. Please, I don't know, somehow you can.
Lavanya, you try to unmute yourself now. Not yet. Srishti, are you also not able to unmute? Praveen, are you there?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now we are
Student,
unable to unmute ourselves.
now it is okay. Srishti, you check.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Lavanya, you please
Now
check whether you are able to unmute. Lavanya? Fine, might be technical issue
Yes,
with
sir.
Lavanya.
Yeah. Hello,
Okay,
can you hear
that's
me,
great.
sir?
Now
Yes.
you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, just now that question that you were asking, 80% we are able to understand, 20% we're not able to understand.
Yes.
In those kind of situations, I'd suggest that we should not be afraid of asking again, or saying few phrases like, could you please come again? Or could you beg your pardon me? Could you please repeat yourself? Because in this day and age, it is common because everyone has different tongues, and all of us from our childhood was not exposed, not especially the older generation, they're not exposed to English as we are exposed to English from such a young childhood.
Exactly.
So obviously you would have language barriers, and asking again, not feeling ashamed to ask again is not at all wrong, because if we feel ashamed and not ask right now, since it is business terms, it is dealing with lots of numbers and lots of businesses, there is a huge chance that we would be occurring lots of long-term losses, because if there's a miscommunication in the long term, obviously there will be some sort of quarrel or some sort of misunderstandings that might happen between the two businesses, which is a huge loss.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Lavanya. It's a great thought. Exactly. Don't be shy. Ask again. If you don't understand, if you feel that you might have some problem later in business issues, ask to have some summary in written form, in digital form. Yeah, but don't sign anything. Just ask. It's okay. If you can, just get translator. Yeah, just invite someone who can help you. But if you don't, in any occasion, please don't be shy to ask again, to ask to come again. Please, Tanisha, you raised your hand. Please, can you
Yes,
add your
sir.
Please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, actually, according to me, sir, people, when they are not belonging to the society where they are used to speak English, like so they have faced difficulty in that way. So according to me, when people are surrounded with the English or English language, so they can be able to speak. And yeah.
So it's normal. It's normal that someone knows it better.
That's
Or...
normal thing. Yeah, that's normal thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tanisha. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So another language barrier is very widespread. It's normal. We understand it. It's just about education and so on. Difference in values. It's much deeper problem that might be an obstacle in cross-cultural communication. So difference in values. What does it mean? In every culture, we have some specific values, things that are valuable, that we think that are important for our nation in, I don't know, in a national level. So for some countries, for example, power is important. Yeah. For someone, freedom is important. Democracy is important. Success in business is important. Family is important, and so on. And when two people from different cultures, they meet, there might be a problem. I can give you an example. For instance, in one country, let's say in Germany, the Germans are really very serious about taxes, about laws, about doing legal business, about democracy, and so on and so on. So if they meet a person from a country where some bribes are normal, when avoiding paying taxes is normal in their country, yeah. For example, if they meet with German partners and they offer something illegal that in their country is supposed to be okay, for a country where it is unacceptable, it can be a full stop to negotiations. So we are okay that in your country, for example, you're doing something illegal. Yes, somehow it's bad. It's really bad. But we understand. But if you want to work on international level, you should be aware that it's not normal, it's not accepted. And such differences in values might be a problem. Or just one step back, for example, producing some goods that are not of the best quality, for example, adding some cheaper materials or cheapen ingredients into food and so on and so on. In one country, it's acceptable, in another, it's unacceptable. Or family time. It's simpler, it's more simple example, more easy to understand. In some countries, people like to work from morning till night, and it's okay for them. So they are business oriented, they care about, I don't know, good achievements, huge progress, and so on and so on. In other countries, for example, in Southern Europe countries, people prefer to have more time for themselves, to drink coffee, to enjoy the view, to talk with friends, and so on and so on. It's hard to say, it's impossible to say what is better, because for Americans, it's better to work from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening, but earn a lot of money. And for people in Spain or Portugal, it's better to work less, but enjoy time with family. So when people from such different countries meet, sometimes a problem might happen. What does it mean? American will say, let's work, I don't know, today until night. And the person from Greece or from Spain will say, okay, but I will have a break for 4 hours in the daytime because I have siesta. So who is right, who is wrong? It's everyone's right to choose. Yeah, but these differences in values might be a problem. Can I ask you guys, what is the value? What are the values in Indian culture? What is important for you? What can you give some example? I don't know. What do you think? Family, maybe free time, maybe freedom, maybe money. While you're thinking, I'm reading the chat. What is interesting? Sonali, if I'm correct, geographical distance also can be a barrier. Yes, because working on virtual platforms, we cannot really feel the culture of other country or other nation through the screen, but we can try. Effective cross-cultural communication also helps in stronger relationship, improved performance. I agree with you, yes, but it's also interesting after all. I think psychological barrier is also a major barrier. Psychological, yeah, we will, Abhinav, if I'm correct, yeah, we should talk about it a little bit later today, but psychological barriers, some, I don't know, problems or being shy or feeling uncomfortable is also a barrier. So what about values? Is family important in India? What do you think? Can you read in chat? I will go on and please write down in chat what are the values for you personally. What are important things for you in your life? Okay, now more simple. Think difference in standards of behavior. In different cultures, people behave in different ways. For example, in some cultures, like we are having discussion right now, my colleague had a discussion with Ukrainian students a week ago, yeah, and we can see how people behave in such events. For example, in some countries, in some natures, it's normal to have a discussion, to have an even arguing with professor or with your manager, with any superior, yeah. So it's normal to have an open discussion. If I don't know, I disagree, to show that I disagree with my manager's opinion is normal in some countries. In some cultures, I believe in India, it's also like this. To disagree openly with your manager in a workplace is not very widespread. Am I correct? What do you think? In Ukraine, we also have this problem. I can say it right now that in Ukraine we also have this problem. And personally, me, I would like to change this system, to change the situation, because if I disagree with my manager, not because I don't like him or her, but because I really see that he is given some wrong recommendation or order, yeah. So I want to disagree. I want to say that maybe we can do it in other way, and it's a way to progress. But in some cultures, it's very, very difficult because people get used to, I don't know, to obey and to listen to the manager. And that might be a problem that might stop or slow down the progress. So difference in standards of behavior. In this picture, in this very plain picture, you see that I tried to show you that nowadays we can see that managers or professionals, they can look quite different from what we get used to, I don't know, 10 years ago. So not necessarily a manager, a businessman is wearing a tie, yeah, as wearing a suit. Some businessmen, some managers are wearing ties and suits, but some of them can wear sneakers and t-shirts, and it's also normal nowadays. If we were not in virtual space but in audience, I'd prefer to ask my students to close their eyes and to imagine a businessman. And it's about stereotype thinking. And even now in 21st century, a lot of students, they still say that it's a male person, so a guy, not a woman, but a man in a suit, in a tie, yeah, some serious guy, but not necessary, yeah. It might be a guy in shorts or a lady in a skirt and so on. So it might be quite different. So we should think deeper, not just look at the dress code of our partner. Okay, and that's what you already said, lack of experience. Cross-cultural communication is very interesting field. Actually, I believe I enjoy my work, really. I have this class with you, I enjoy it. Yeah, in the end of November, we have a planned session, online class with my Japanese colleague. And so it's really interesting to explore different cultures. But if it's your first meeting with your foreign partner, it's a problem. I was shy, I was not very confident, yeah. So, but if it's second, third, 10th, 20th time, so you are talking to a guy from different part of the planet, like it's your brother or sister, you just don't care. It's okay. Lack of trust. Another problem that might happen, lack of trust. There are nations that we trust from the start, yeah, and there are nations we would like to avoid in business negotiations. I don't know, it's a bit provocative question, but maybe you can mention. Okay, let's do it in a simple way. Guys, can you please name me a nation that you have very positive attitude to? For example, you trust these people. If you get an offer to work with partners from this country, you would agree that you actually believe that it will be safe and profitable and normal and interesting and so on and so on. Good example, please. Can you give me a good example? And that's why I see that Lavanya said that honesty, like a value in India. It's brilliant. It's just brilliant answer. And family and respect. Thank you very much. Family and respect. I believe that was my stereotype thinking about India. I read these three words: honesty, family, and respect. And that's my stereotype thinking about Indian values. I'm really happy to read these words. It's very nice. Thank you very much. So what about nations that you actually trust, that you would like to work with? Let's do some, I don't know, contest. So no options, no, I don't know, any suggestions? Or whom you can trust, okay? Australia, I agree with you. I would also like to work with Australians. I have nothing against Australians. It's a civilized country, very developed country, and people, I believe that I can trust people from Australia. Japan. Okay, sorry, please. California, United States. Yeah, California. Okay, why not? Japan, the United States. I agree with you. Japan. So you see, also country that in our stereotype thinking, it's like, okay, it's about respect, it's about honesty, it's about high quality. What about stereotypes about Japan? Okay, maybe one. Tanisha, please, you raised your hand. Please unmute yourself and tell.
Sir, you can count India too.
Sorry?
You can count India too.
India, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Why not? Why not? What about negative examples? Maybe someone will, I don't know, tell what country is definitely no. Do you have such examples? I will not tell anyone, really. Okay, China. Aha, you would like to work with Chinese people. Okay, you can even not explain why, but it's in our stereotype. Yeah, we wouldn't like to work with people from China, but we understand that someone in China are really good businessmen. They are honest and so on and so on. But in our stereotype thinking, we don't believe that Chinese people are safe to work with, but it might be wrong. Okay, and that's why the last, but maybe the most important after language barrier problem is stereotype thinking. Stereotypes. What is stereotype? It's our belief that in some culture or some nation, people behave like this. We believe, for example, if I say France, what would be your stereotype? How do French people behave? I believe that you might imagine someone eating croissant and I don't know. Yes, please, Tanisha.
Sir, according to me, they are not too much familiar with the new people, and they are not that much good in to contact or to connect with other country, according to me.
Thank you very much. So you believe that they are really close, they respect themselves, compatriots, yeah, but they're not very open to foreigners. Okay. Yeah. If I say rigid behavior, okay. If I say Germans, what's your opinion about Germans? What do you think? Maybe they're very punctual, yeah, maybe they are very rational. What about Japanese people, people from Japan? What do you think about Japan? Please, Lavanya.
So they are very disciplined, highly disciplined people. The entire society is disciplined.
Exactly. I feel the same. Absolutely the same. Energetic. Yeah, in chat, I read energetic. And my last question, what do you think about people from India? Please, you raise your hand, unmute yourself and tell.
Sir, when you see the India, they are good in everywhere. Like they have good communications, they have good connections, they have trust. They're everything in India. Like you can count in all rounder. Like people of India, like they are good in everything.
Thank you.
Behavior.
So I believe that Indians have high, like what do you say? They have a very high value system.
They are honest.
Sorry, can you come
They are honest.
Honest, yeah, honest. Also, you think,
So,
Yes,
we
please.
found very creative people in India. Most creative
Creative.
people in India.
Mhm,
Yes,
creative
creativity
people.
are lot of creativity in India.
They build easily relations with others too.
Sir, to
Okay,
throw
okay.
something
So
a
you
little
are honest. You are.
controversial, to throw something controversial,
Mhm,
bargaining, sir.
Yes.
Indians bargain very
mhm.
well.
Yes. Agree with Lavanya.
Agree. Yeah, I agree too with Lavanya.
You see
Expert
how
in
it's a pleasure to talk about your nation, your country. It's so nice. It's so nice. What stereotypes you have about Ukraine? Do you know anything about Ukraine?
Beautiful. Women over there are beautiful people
Yes.
and
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank you very much.
dancers.
culture is also too good.
Okay, okay. We need to try to know more about each other. Okay, I read chat. Okay, we're silent in India. They not only respect their culture but also respect others. It's very important thing. Yes, respectful. I see. Very nice. I see it. I can feel it. Talking to you, I can feel it. It's really nice. You are great ambassadors of your country. It's really nice to hear. Okay, and you can see here the research, the results of our research. We did it with my colleagues from Denmark and Portugal, and we asked the respondents, what do they think about these barriers, these problems? And you see that language barrier is number one. It's in all these three countries, so it's general results. So the majority said that language barrier, it's the most widespread obstacle when we talk about cross-cultural communication. Okay, what to do to overcome these barriers? What advice can I give you, can I offer you if you want to be successful in international level, in talking, in communicating with people from different countries? So first of all, if our main problem, main obstacle is language barrier, so there is no better advice than to improve or study English language. Definitely, there are different international languages like French or Spanish or German and so on, but let's be realistic. If you know English, you can be successful on international level. If you want to work with people from Japan, learn Japanese. If you are oriented on France, learn French. But if you want to be successful on international level, English is number one. If you know more languages, it's even better. But first, just be sure that your English is enough for international negotiations. That's it. In my opinion, it's very simple. Basic knowledge of cultural peculiarities of different countries. It's impossible to learn all the cultures, right? Because every culture is unique, every culture is extremely rich, and so on and so on. But there are different frameworks, there are different databases, and one of them I would like to discuss today. These databases can help to get first approach to some culture, to some country. So this basic knowledge of the culture might be very important. Another advice to avoid stereotype thinking. Be open-minded and don't generalize. Don't believe that all people in China are not trustworthy. Don't believe that all French people are really cold and closed. Yeah, you might meet a very friendly French guy or a very honest Chinese guy. And on the other hand, don't believe that all people in India are creative. Yeah, some of them wouldn't like to be creative. They would prefer to work on a standard level. So, but stereotypes are not out of nothing. They appeared not out of nothing. So if you say that Indians are creative, I believe that majority of Indian professionals are creative. If the Japanese people are disciplined, definitely it's because the majority of Japanese people are very disciplined. So that's why stereotypes, we need to avoid stereotypes, but we must know why they exist. And I would just show you this, it's not my research, but it's very famous and very funny company that do a lot of very interesting researches. And if you see, people in 8 countries in Europe were asked who is most hardworking and who is least hardworking, yeah? Who is most hardworking and who is laziest nation. And you see that people in all these countries, they say that most hardworking people are Germans, and only people in Greece said No, Greek people are most hardworking. And you see that most lazy or least hardworking people, the respondent said it's Greek, Italians, Greece, and so on. And the Greek said, no, it's Italians. We are very hardworking people. But it's more funny. Avoid ethnocentrism. Another advice, another recommendation to avoid ethnocentrism. What is ethnocentrism? It's the belief that our culture is normal and other cultures are not normal. It's very, very widespread problem. Just analyze yourself, please. What do you think? Your culture, Indian culture, is it really different from many other cultures? Is it really unique? I believe yes, right? It's very unique. But do you think it's the only normal culture? Or you think that others are also normal, but they're just different? What do you think? Ethnocentrism. I believe that we need to respect traditions of other nations. If we respect traditions of others, we can get common language with our partners in other countries. If we are free from stereotypes, free from, I don't know, some bad ideas about their cultures and so on, we can find them interested, not to find they're like enemies for us or just unfriendly for us. We can just realize that they are different and we can be open about them. So avoiding ethnocentrism. If I go to India, for example, if I go to India and I see people, by the way, you know, this festival that came from India with different colors, like, can you remind me, like Holi festival or how it's called? When people are throwing the different colors to each other. Yeah, Holy Festival is, thank you. You know, it's popular now all over the world. In Ukraine, we have these festivals. Yeah, we have it in Ukraine. And it's like Indian tradition, but we are like, you know, having fun with it and so on and so on. I never took part in it, but some of my friends took. So, and I can say that it's not strange. For someone, it might look strange why people are throwing things to each other and laughing, yeah? But just think that it's part of culture. It's normal, or like food, or like traditions, or like customs, and so on. So they're just different. So we are different people. It happens. Avoid ambiguity. Another advice: avoid ambiguity. So try to avoid some dangerous jokes. Try to be careful with different questions and so on. If you are really confident that your partner from this country is okay with this question, ask. If not, just avoid it. Normally, this not safe topics for discussions are about politics. Yeah, you don't know what your partner thinks, whom he supports. Normally, there is an advice to avoid questions about religion. Yeah, because you can ask something that might be offensive to your partner. So if you want to discuss these topics, just ask. Don't say that, oh, I know this tradition in your country, it's so strange. Don't say it like this. Just ask, oh, I heard about very interesting tradition in your country. Can you tell me your opinion? Can you explain me? I'm an outsider in your country. I don't know. But can you tell me? Normally, people really love to share. I heard it from you today. You told, when I said, what kind of people are Indians? And you gave me a lot of interesting information. It was my pleasure to listen to them. If you ask, normally people would like to share. If you ask me about Ukraine, I can tell you until night anything about Ukraine. But back to this recommendation: avoid ambiguity. Just avoid this, I don't know, unsafe topics. Like, you know, it's one. I like this cafe in Ukraine, by the way. They have this sign like "Kiss Place." Yeah, but for someone it might be offensive, for someone funny, for someone strange, and so on. But so be sure not to be unpleasant for your partners. Okay, and final remark, final recommendation: to have global thinking. We started from digitalization and globalization and so on, these mega trends. I only recommend you to look for opportunities on a global level. Now you are listening to some guy from Ukraine, yeah? And you might think, okay, he's from Ukraine. Why not to look on the map where Ukraine is? Maybe we can buy something from Ukraine. Maybe we can export something to Ukraine. Maybe we can do something on a digital virtual platform with Ukrainian partners. It's a large country. We have around 40 million population. For Europe, it's really a lot. And we have a lot of resources. I know that a lot of Ukrainian agriculture products are being exported to India, for example. You never know, maybe we can meet on some business level. In few years, you can meet Ukrainian partners and you can say, like, Доброго дня, which means namaste in Ukrainian. Yes, so you might know something about Ukraine. You might remember that somehow you had this lecture. And on a global level, you can find opportunities, especially in a digital world. Right now, you don't need to go actually somewhere. You need to Google it. You need to find some opportunities. You need to connect with people and to have some joint projects. Okay, and the second part of my presentation today, I hope you are not very tired. It's about preparation to intercultural negotiations. If you are going to, let's say, to Ukraine for business negotiation with Ukrainian partners, you need to know at least something about this country. Sure, there is Google, you can Google it, you can find some information, you can get a lot of videos, you can get a lot of texts about it, and so on and so on. You can have some friends who had some connections in this country. But still, I would like to tell you about one model that is still the most popular on a global level. So in universities and business schools all over the world, people are studying the same model that explains and describes national cultures. This model is called Gert Hofstere. It's a Dutch researcher who invented it, 6D model of national cultures. The idea of the model is to describe a culture using 6 dimensions. So it helps in a business level and it helps on personal level to understand the culture. Now, let me briefly tell you about 6 dimensions, and then I would like to compare Indian and Ukrainian and maybe some other culture. Okay, let's try. So 6 dimensions that can describe any national culture. First is power distance. What is power distance? I can tell you in plain words. Power distance is the distance between you and your boss and your manager. And you can change the word manager for your professor, prime minister, minister, I don't know, parents, and so on. So it's the distance. Do you feel this hierarchy? Do you feel that you are far from your manager, from your professor, and so on? In some countries, this distance is very high, is very big. You feel that you are lower than your boss, and you are a bit afraid to ask your boss, to discuss something with your boss, to argue with your boss. But in other organizations, in other cultures, it's very small. This distance is really, really low, really small. So your boss is more like your partner. Your professor is more like your coach. Your father or your mother are like friends. Sure, you respect them. It's not about disrespect. You respect them. But you can actually work in a team with your manager. You can come to your boss and say, sorry, I don't know how to solve this problem. Can you help me? So again, I'm not telling what is good, what is bad, what is better, what is worse. I'm telling that in some countries, like in Japan, the power distance, can you tell me or write in chat, in Japan, the power distance is high or low? In Japan. What do you think about Japan? Or in India? In India, power distance is high or small? Okay, I'm waiting in the chat for your answers in chat, but for now I can tell you that in Japan it's high, in China it's high, but for example in Scandinavian countries, in Denmark, in Sweden, in Norway, it's very low. In America, it's rather low. So when you meet a person from different country, from different culture, sometimes it might be a problem in cross-cultural communication when you are not ready to talk on the same level with him or her. So the second dimension is about individualism or collectivism. Some societies, some cultures, some nations, they are more individualistic. People prefer to work on their own, to be responsible for their actions, not to work in a team, but to be single players. Let me use this term. And in other cultures, they are collectivists. So they prefer to work in team. They prefer to share responsibility. So be ready that if you meet a person from opposite culture, be ready for normal communication. So offer the ideas that will be accepted by this culture. So don't get into situation when your offer is not interesting because it's not suitable for another culture. Masculinity or femininity. Take a look at this map and find your country. Masculine countries are countries where traditionally male values are respected. What are these male values? Male values are like courage, like risk, like achievements, and so on and so on. And traditional feminine values are collaboration, support, caring, and so on and so on. And if you take a look at this map, you can see, for example, that India is more masculine country. So in your business environment and the achievements, success, they are highly valued. And for example, if you look at the United States, you can see almost the same situation. But we understand that Indian culture is very different from American one. Another fourth dimension is uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance is the attitude to risk. In some societies, in some countries, people are not ready to risk. They don't like to take a chance. They don't like to change something. But in some countries, people are really risky. They are okay to move to some other countries. They are really flexible. They are ready to change their office, to change their company, to change their work, and so on and so on. So when you meet with your business partner from different culture, be sure that he or she is from what to offer risky projects or to offer safe projects, to show safe way or to show risky way. Yeah, what will be accepted by your partner. Fifth dimension, long-term orientation or short-term orientation. There are countries where people are mostly oriented on long-term perspective. It means that if you offer some business cooperation and you say, oh, we're going to earn $1 million in the nearest months. So these people will be really careful with your offer, yeah, because they will think that, oh, it's something very risky. How it's possible to earn a lot of money in a very short term? We would like to see perspective. We would like to see what will be in 1 year, in 2 years, in 10 years, and so on. But in opposite cultures, for example, in African cultures, it's very widespread in Africa. People are short-term oriented. If you meet your African partners and you say, I have a project, I have a plan, first 3 years, we're going to invest, and then we're going to earn. Your African partners will say, no way. 3 years waiting? No, we would avoid you. Thank you very much. We're going to call you, but they will never call. People in these countries, they need to see very short-term results. They need to see when we get our first money, when we get our first products, and so on and so on. So short-term orientation. And the last one, indulgence or restraint. People in some countries, they are really, really indulgent. So they are free, they do what they want, they behave like they want. They actually are not thinking about some others' attitude to them. And people in other cultures, they are really restrained. They actually are restrained by rules, by laws, and what is very important, by the evaluation from their peers or to their friends or their colleagues. What do these people say? In Ukraine, we have this saying, what will people say? So it means that if, for example, if I'm a university professor and I want to make a very strange haircut, if I'm from restrained culture, I will say, no, I would look strange. I would do normal haircut. I will go like all the professors go. If I'm from some indulgent culture, I would say, I don't care. I'm a great professor. I know a lot about my subject. I have great professional experience. Students love me. I do what I want. I do this haircut and that's it. Definitely, it's not simple like that. It has some restrictions also, but still, I think you agree that in some cultures, people are more restrained. In some, they're more free. And it's not about money. It's not about their, I don't know, income. It's more about inner freedom, how we behave. And if you see in this map, Ukraine and India is in this with the same color. It's in yellow color. So both our countries are in very restrained camp, let's say, of countries. So people in our countries are restrained by rules. Maybe even if analyze your environment, even if people are breaking the laws, I mean, not some very bad things, but some small laws, not very serious misbehaving, they are doing it because everybody is doing it. So people really think, what will other people think about them? And if you see on this map, the red color countries, they are high indulgent cultures, like Canada, like the United States, like some countries in Western Europe, like Australia, like New Zealand. People in these countries behave like they want to behave. If they want to have some very funny clothes on, they do it. If you want to do some extraordinary things, they do it, and so on. Again, it's not good or bad. It's just like they behave. It's just like you behave. So, or we behave. So be ready for these uncomfortable situations at international negotiations, at cross-cultural communication. Be ready that your partners might be very different from you. Okay? So, and let's compare the countries using this model. Let's try to compare. First, I would like to show you the comparison of these three countries: Denmark in Northern Europe, Morocco in Northern Africa, and the United States. You see power distance. Power distance in Denmark, it's lowest, from 0 to 100, it's 18. It means that in Denmark, people are really, really open to disagree with their bosses. They treat their managers like their partners. They don't actually try to avoid confrontation. They do what they want and they talk to their managers like equals. In Morocco, it's 70. The power distance is high. It means that people in Morocco, the majority of people from Morocco, they treat their managers like very distant bosses from them. So they try to avoid open confrontation. They prefer to avoid any negative conversations with bosses. They prefer to follow the orders. And the United States, you see, somewhere in the middle, but closer to low. It means that in the United States, there is a hierarchy. So the bosses are very important, but still it's more democratic way compared to Morocco. Individualism, you see, Denmark and the United States are very individualistic countries, and Morocco is a bit closer to collectivistic country. Masculinity, who are more masculine, who are more feminine. You see that masculinity is mostly about the United States, 62 out of 100. So it's more masculine culture, and Denmark is more feminine culture. It's a great example, in my opinion, that you might be successful using masculine culture or using feminine culture, because Denmark and the United States are both successful, rich countries with good, business environment, legislation, and so on and so on. So you might be successful with different approaches. Uncertainty avoidance. You see, the higher number is, the more people try to avoid risky situations. You see that Denmark has 23 out of 100. It means that people are really open for risk. They're really open for uncertainty situations. United States is about in the middle, and in Morocco, people try to avoid these strange situations. A long-term orientation. All the countries are really short-term oriented, but Morocco, I told you about African countries, they're very short-term oriented. They would like to see the first results very soon. So 14 out of 100. And the last dimension, indulgence. That's very interesting. You see classical case about the United States or about Western Europe, 70, around 70 out of 100. People are very indulgent. They behave like they want, they do what they want, and so on. And people in Morocco, in Africa, they are really restrained. They try to behave like all other people do. You see, now imagine the negotiations between people from these countries. But you know, you can check on the global trade websites, you can see how many interactions, business interactions, companies from these countries have. The same about India or Ukraine or any other country. So we trade with people from other countries. If you see the possible profit, if you know that you can earn money by selling something to China or to Ukraine or to Canada, you need to learn the culture, you need to prepare your offer, and you need to start negotiations. But be ready that your partners will be really strange, in your opinion, yeah, or in my opinion, they will be really strange, but they are normal, and you will be, or I will be strange from their opinion. So that's why we might meet in the middle, somewhere in the middle. And now the final slide, let's take a look at India-Ukraine comparison according to Gert Hofstere 6D model. Power distance. As I told you, and maybe now you will argue with me, but in both our countries, we have this, I can say it's a problem. It's my subjective opinion, but it might be a problem that we have very high power distance, very high. You see in Ukraine, it's even higher comparing to India. People, it's okay to respect bosses. In my opinion, if someone is my manager, I need to respect this guy because, okay, he might be more experienced, more intelligent in this field than me. But still, if I'm afraid of my manager, it's a problem because my manager might want to listen to some feedback from me because I'm in front office. Okay, I work in a restaurant, I sell food, and my boss is in the office planning the future actions. And he would like to listen from me. What the problem I have? Maybe clients have some complaints. Maybe the food is not good. Maybe some of suppliers is doing something bad. But if I'm afraid to talk to my boss, he will never know what the problem is until something bad will happen in the company. So power distance is really high. Individualism. Ukraine is collectivistic. India is somewhere in the middle, but closer to collectivistic. Masculinity. India is more masculine. You are supposed to be more active, more risky, more ready to do something extraordinary comparing to Ukraine. And uncertainty avoidance, you see that India is somewhere in the middle. Ukraine is supposed to be closer to top. So people in Ukraine don't like something risky. It's because of also like India, Ukraine had very tragic, very problematic periods in our history. So that's why people are not used to have their own businesses and so on and so on. And let's say in recent 10 years, we discussed it with your professor during one of the previous meetings, and I see a lot of changes, and especially in big cities in the capital, because I live and work in capital. So definitely it's different in capital, in big cities, in megapolises, and in rural areas and so on and so on. But I see these changes, but still the majority of people would prefer to get safe workplace in a big corporation comparing to have a risky own business. And long-term orientation. Long-term orientation, you can see that in Ukraine, people are more long-term oriented. In India, people are somewhere in the middle. And indulgence, this sixth last dimension, how open people are, how free people are. In both our countries, you see that people are really restrained by the rules. We try to be the same as our compatriots with people who live and work nearby. We don't want to look different. We don't want to behave differently. Yes, it's generalization. I understand it's a picture of the whole country or whole countries. We cannot compare you as students in one of the best business schools in India with people who have no higher education, not because they are worse than you, but because they have different values, and it's normal. We cannot compare, let's say, professors and IT specialists and designers and bankers and I don't know, high school teachers and so on. In every industry, it will be a bit different. So this is generalization. And that's how you can get the first shot, the first picture of national culture when you are ready to meet with people from this country. So that's the first step. And then you need to get deeper, to explore deeper how to communicate with people from this or that country. Okay, that's the main ideas I wanted to tell you. And now I would like to ask you about leaving this slide on the screen. I would like to ask some of you, maybe you can tell your personal opinion. Do you agree or you disagree with this global research, with this global evaluation of your national culture? Is India like this? Does your culture look like that or not? Or you disagree? Can you tell your opinion, please? Maybe you are tired. Maybe you are tired.
Please don't be reluctant of sharing your views. It's quite interesting.
Yeah,
What
please,
comes
because
to
it's
your
about
mind, you
you.
just share.
Yeah, there is no right or wrong answers. It's just your personal opinions. I would like to ask about uncertainty avoidance, because it's okay, it's more safe, because power distance, maybe some wouldn't like to discuss this topic and so on, but about uncertainty avoidance. Your professor asked a very good question. I really love this question about readiness to start your own business. Have you ever thought about starting your own business in India or on a global level? What do you think? The majority of Indians, they would prefer to have their own business or would prefer to go to a big company, to safe corporation? What do you think? Where are our stars? Tanisha, Lavani, where are you? You are the headliners of our meeting. Okay, I see something in chat. Okay, I thought to start my own business. Great, would prefer to start their own business. So you see people in India, but you are studying in a business school, sure. Okay. Any other, maybe someone would like to go to a big company because it's safe.
Don't be shy of sharing your views. You may have a different view, that doesn't matter at all, okay?
Yep.
So just have views, just express your views.
Sir, in India.
Yes, I'm listening. Yeah, please.
Sir, in India, we start our own business. Like in India, there isn't so many opportunities to grab. Like if we are own business, that we have so many things to do in their own business. Like we start like a company, so we have so many opportunities to other people, for others also, for own also. So according to me, India is the best for business as a business concept.
Is a business concept. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you very much. So now you see from your answers, I see that people are ready to start their own business. But very interesting response now in chat that yes, sir, Sonali, right? I hope I'm telling correctly your name. First, have an understanding of how corporations work, and then We'll go for our own business. I can tell you that in Ukraine, working with students in Ukraine, I see the same trend. And in my opinion, it's very wise to first to get experience, to study, to have a good education, then to have maybe 2 or 3 years in a big company to understand the business processes. And while you are working in a company, you start your own, developing your ideas, and then go into your own business, maybe. And I see another response, yes, sir, we should gain some experience and then we should start our own business. I think it's very good example of business career, of business opportunities. Okay, I believe it's very good idea. So it's, I think it's wise answer. What about individualism? I can give you a question, and I would like to get some responses, and maybe someone will tell or someone can use chat to answer. Can please imagine the situation. You work in a company, producing advertisement agency. Okay, you understand? Yeah, so advertisement agency. For example, I'm your manager, and we have a project, and I need to show the concept of the project to our client in 1 week. And let's imagine that you are one of 3 workers in my department. So only 3 workers in my department. And this project is very important. We can get a lot of money if we sell this project to our client. And I offer you 2 options of motivation system. First, A, you have 1 week and you work as a team, 3 of you, you work in a team, and in 7 days, we show the concept of the project to the client. If the client buys it, we get this contract and you get your bonus, like additional extra money for, let's say, what sum of money is motivating for you? I don't know, maybe everyone is very rich, or I don't know. What sum of money is motivating? Tanisha, what sum of money would be motivating for Indian young professional?
So according to me, I'll go with the group. Like we have 3 peoples, we have worked together, and it will be the more.
No.
It will be the great for us that we have.
I asked how much money would be motivating for people, not for you personally, but for some Indian professional, young professional.
Okay.
Like in dollars, for example. Like $500 is good sum of money or not? Like a bonus.
Like we said, if I started the company, like $500 is also good for the startup. Like
perfect. But it's not, you understand, it's not salary. It's not every month you get 500. It's additional just for this project, like a bonus, just one time. Okay, so my option A, you work in a team, 3 people. And if it's successful, you get $1,500 per team. So you can divide it and everyone get $500. Or option B, I'm your manager, I give you this task, and in 7 days, you give me 3 concepts. You work personally, yeah? You give me 3 concepts. I show these 3 projects to client. Client chooses one, and the client doesn't know you. He is choosing the best project. And the winner gets 1,500. And 2 other guys gets free tea and cookies and a hug. What will you choose? Option A, to work in a team but win $500, or to take a chance and try to get 3 times more, but you might lose. What is better, in your opinion?
Then I'll go with the individual.
Individual. Wow, interesting. So but how will you feel if, for example, your colleague, if Lavanya will win and you will lose? Will it be okay for you, or you will be a bit jealous and I don't know, you say how it's
So, but when I get my money, I don't care about the others.
if you win, you will
It's a
not care.
business.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, it's a business.
It's a business. Okay. Thank you very much. I respect your answer. I see that. Okay. In the third
Thank
largest
you.
startup ecosystem. Okay. Okay. And in chat, I see that second option, because business is all about taking risk. Okay. Maybe someone will choose would choose the first option, safe one. No one. I just used a very small number of money. Okay, if I said 5,000, maybe it will be quite different, because it's better to have 5,000 than trying to get 15. But for $500, okay, we will take a chance. Very interesting. Thank you very much. I can give you something in chat. It's a business and taking risk is quite challenging. Second option. So everyone for second option. It's very interesting. Friends, I can tell you that in Ukraine, I did this case. I worked with this case lots of times when I'm discussing this slide. And normally about 75% of my students, they choose the second option, and 25 sorry, 75 chooses the first option. 75 chooses the first option, the safe one. But I used a bit higher numbers. That's why maybe it's not very fair, but not too much higher. But still, you see, it's like split. Someone tries to search for safe way, and someone tries to search for risky way. But I really like your answers. So risk, business is about risk. So professional career is about risk. It's normal. And what is very important, that if you lose, like Tanisha just said, if she will lose, it will be okay. If I was in your team and you won, I would say, I want to be like Tanisha. I want to be better than Tanisha. But I will not say, oh, she is bad. She's a friend of the boss. That's why he gave this contract to her. No, I would like to learn and to be better. And so that's about progress. So your answers, in my opinion, they're really, really good. They're really nice. And the last comment I read, and then I stop my presentation. A second option may seem risky, but if succeeds, will open a bigger market in future. Yes, exactly. So it's a risk, but it's a possible way to progress to achievements and so on and so on. Thank you very much for your discussion. It was really, really nice and interesting for me. You, as I said, you are great ambassadors of India. You showed your level, and I'm really, really pleased to communicate with you. And special thanks to Dr. Raghvendra, who invited us. And it's amazing. It's really nice experience for me. Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure, Dr. Dennis. Thank you very much. If student any doubt or any question, last opportunity for you to ask, or should I sum it up? I assume it was a very interactive session, Dr. Dennis. I must say, students come forward to write their views in the chat box, and maybe some of them, they come forward to unmute themselves and talk to you. So that was quite interesting. So I would just like to present a vote of thanks. Friends, I am thankful for the top management of ICFA University, Dehradun, as well as Kyiv National Economic University, Ukraine also, for letting us have this opportunity where the faculties from Ukraine can talk to our students and our faculties can talk to them. Someday we will try to have a session where students can also see each other and talk to each other. Someday we will try. Myself and Dr. Helena will try to find the way out. And then I'm thankful to our Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Hargopal Reddy, our Registrar, Brigadier Rajiv Sethi sir, who has allowed us and extended all kind of support and cooperation, help as and when it was required by me to organize this kind of interactions between the faculties from across the world, particularly Ukraine. We are able to sign this MOU with you people. I'm also thankful to the students who have attended this session, and they were very participative. I'm also thankful to one of my faculty colleagues. I saw that he was present, Dr. Kumar Saurabh. I'm also thankful to Dr. Yelena Prokhorova, right from the beginning, she has taken a lot of initiative to make this this venture keep forwarding and keep moving. And at the end, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Dennis Leffinste, who has spared time to deliver such a wonderful talk. I thoroughly enjoyed your talk, sir. I thoroughly enjoyed the way you have interacted and communicated and connected to the students. Someday we would love to see all of you here in India, where we can talk directly face to face in the classrooms. We can organize someday the joint sessions where the faculties from our school, our university, and your university can take a collective classes. That will be a kind of experiment we will try to plan. So thank you very much, Dr. Dennis Leffinste. I also would like to extend my thanks to our IT people, Praveen in particular. Nowadays, the entire world is moving through on the shoulders of IT administrators of the respective universities. So thank you very much, Praveen. Thank you, students. Thank you, Dr. Yelena. Thank you, Dr. Dennis, once again. Thanks a lot. We will see next week. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, friends. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Praveen, we can end the session. Praveen, are you there? We can end the session. Praveen, are you there? Oh, perhaps he's not on the desk. Let me keep look.
Sir, it seems like he couldn't end it. He's having some network issues.
Thank you, students. You can leave the meeting now. System administrator will end the meeting. Praveen, we can close it.